In this video, I'm going to answer the following questions. What are fats and why are they needed? Why does fat accumulate in our body? In today's world, how to use the fat in our body wisely? And lastly, what are lipid profiles and tips on how to improve your lipid profiles for better health? If you want to know more, continue watching. What are fats? So fats are wax-like or greasy substance which are present in many of the natural whole foods. Talk about nuts, vegetables like olives, avocados, coconut, uh, soya bean, uh, and few other beans out there also have very good fat in them. Now let me ask you a question. When you hear the word fat, what comes to your mind? Weight gain, belly fat, cholesterol, or even maybe heart disease? What if I told you that fat is not the villain? And in fact, fat is essential for our survival. If you date back, look back at the human evolution, food was not a convenience. It was a survival mechanism for our body. It was not available when it was needed. And that's why our body was designed to store the energy in the form of fat. And in fact, when healthy fats are available in your body, it can trigger the energy, it can generate the energy when it is most needed, when there is an emergency of energy that is required for your body. So unfortunately, in today's world, this is not the case. Every 2 hours, we snack on something or the other. Hence, there are fats which are accumulated in our body and we don't use them wisely. In the past, uh, depending on the seasons, food was available. And in some seasons, like winter, there used to be scarcity of food. And that's when our body utilized fats in order to generate energy. And people survived from it. And if you fast forward today, there is a lot of convenience. And in fact, every 2 hours, people snack. Right? And in fact, fat accumulates. And in fact, as we look at today, bad fat doesn't only come from eating fats. It's coming from other multiple sources. And now I'm going to tell you 4 reasons why bad fats accumulates in people. The first one being when you consume excess of ultra processed carbohydrates, they directly convert into fat. Ultra processed carbohydrates include your refined sugar, any refined flours, or any types of packaged foods. All those considered as ultra processed. And you should be avoiding all those which I just mentioned, which are covered as part of ultra processed carbohydrates. And the second reason why bad fat accumulates is when you have repeated or chronic stress. When stress increases, it releases a chemical called cortisol. And when cortisol is released, your body sends a signal to your brain that there is danger. So you may need this emergency source of fat for the future, so don't release it now. So when you have stress, fat never gets burnt. And in fact, this signal, wrong signal, which is sent to the brain, uh, when it does that, your body, when it doesn't have any more energy in the form of sugar or carbohydrates, and it is not releasing the fat in the form of energy, so it holds on to it. So your body goes into low blood sugar mode. Your bloodstream doesn't have any more sugar, and that's when you want you want to eat more. And that's why when people are stressed, more often they are hungry. They want to eat more because they get into that low blood sugar. And that is not a great thing. And in fact, every one of our body, on an average, people have 200,000 calories of energy in the form of fat that can be burnt at any point in time. But when you have stress, it doesn't help. So when you have stress, you should try to reduce the stress by various mechanisms. And in fact, I've made a video regarding my 7S, so you can refer to that if you want to know more about it. And then the third reason of why people accumulate bad fat is consumption of seed oils and industrial fats. In fact, when you consume these oils in the form of refined vegetable oils, uh, they damage the cells and also they promote inflammations. And I'm not a medical expert, but still, the experimentation which I have done from last 1.5 years by uh, not consuming any of the seed oils, and also some of my clients doing it, seeing the results, it has helped them and me immensely. So letting go of these seed oils and industrial fats uh, will do a lot of good things to you when it comes to growing healthy fats, letting go of bad fats. And the fourth reason is constant eating. If you look at today, a normal human being snacks every 2 hours. And when you snack every 2 hours and you eat something or the other every 2 hours, your body releases insulin constantly in order to regulate your blood sugar. And when that happens, when excess insulin gets released, your fat will never gets burnt because insulin always looks for sugar and carbohydrate sources that generates energy, easy energy, which will be sent to each of the blood cells. So constant eating is also not a good idea. You should be taking break once in a while so that you uh, encourage your body to burn fats. How you can wisely utilize your body fat? When it comes to body types, I categorize them into 4 types. The first one being a person who is heavily built, right? But his is body composition consists of more of muscle mass, and he has quite healthy fat profile. And the second type of person is person who is again heavily built, but this person has less of uh, muscle mass but more of fat in his body. And the third category of body is a person who is thin, having more fat in the body. And the fourth category is a person who is thin, having a good muscle mass, and also the manageable amount of fat in the body. So in all these 4 category of people, which I just mentioned, it is absolutely possible to burn those fat which is in their body and also get into a healthy uh, fat and muscle mass profile. And how can you do it? So primarily you can do it using 3 steps. The first one being focus on eating healthy food. As you consume healthy quality fats in the form of natural whole food or even meat, it actually encourages your body to release the fats. That in turn will, when the fats are released, eventually, it is converted into the form of energy, and those fats are recycled. And the second step in releasing fat is giving time for your body to release fat. So if you constantly eat, if you don't give break between your meals, there is no chance for your body to tap into the fat source of energy. So try to give a time of at least 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, and at the best, even 18 hours between your meal. So what people call as intermittent fasting, that will help your body to tap into fat source. And for some of you, it's not easy, especially when you already have accumulated so much fat in your body. That means that your body is not tapping into uh, the fat source of energy. That means you are mostly relying on sugar and carbohydrate based food. And if you are already used to such diet from last 20-30 years, definitely your body will not agree to get into that intermittent fasting of 16 hours, 18 hours, because eventually your body gets into that low blood sugar zone. And when you get into that low blood sugar zone, uh, you will not, or your body will not burn the fat. Your body seeks more and more sugar and carbohydrate based food when you get into low blood sugar zone. And that itself is a condition which shouldn't be the case. So there are ways to not to get into low blood sugar zone. Uh, and that is something which I'll cover in the later videos. But for now, uh, I'll just talk about the steps which are needed to burn the fat wisely. And the third step is about focus on 7S. And this is something I've been uh, following it myself from last 1.5, close to 2 years now, which actually is helping me to recycle the fat and use the fat source efficiently. And one thing that you need to consider is when it comes to fat burning, uh, you need to be patient and you need to be persistent. It is not going to happen in one day, it is not going to happen in 1 week, but the consistent behavior that you showcase with all the 3 steps which I mentioned, and also following the discipline for a couple of months, your body understands to burn the fat efficiently, to use the energy efficiently. And once it learns, trust me, it is so much easier on your body. Your emotional hunger goes away, and your low blood sugar hunger goes away. Only thing that you crave for is the real nutritious food. And I know for some of you it is hard to believe. That is something I have proven it multiple times with my um, clients, and also the people who come uh, to me seeking advice on eating healthy. What are lipid profile and how can you improve your lipid profile? Now, in your medical reports, you would have seen different components of lipid profile. It includes HDL, high density lipoprotein, LDL, low density lipoprotein, and triglycerides, and few other components. Now there is a guideline from medical industry that it has to be in a specific range for a person to be healthy, just an indication to be healthy. Now I'm not going into detail of all those scientific aspects. As a layman, as a normal human being, I'll try to explain what are these by giving you an analogy so that you understand it better. That in turn helps you to make an informed decision next time when you eat certain food. So lipid profile is essentially these three elements, as I mentioned: HDL, LDL, and triglycerides. So imagine a highway, right? There are roads all around, and vehicle moves in the highway. Your bloodstream is like the highway. Blood moves around, and along with that blood, there are other things which flows around in the bloodstream. That includes your blood sugar, that includes your cholesterol. So if you have to transfer fat where it is currently stored in liver into your bloodstream, it needs a carrier, it needs a delivery truck. And that's where LDL comes into picture. LDL forms a packet by having fats included in the packet and then delivers it into bloodstream. And in a normal quantity, if LDL is available in the normal quantity within when it is going to the bloodstream, everything is well, body works as expected, blood flows seamlessly without much traffic on the highway. But the problem starts when there is excess of LDL on the highway in the bloodstream. That's when it starts accumulates. Your LDL packets starts accumulates in your bloodstream, mostly in the arteries. And that's when the blood cannot move seamlessly within the bloodstream. It blocks. And when it is severe, that's when heart attack happens. So in order to remove the excess of traffic, excess of LDL packets in your bloodstream, HDLs are used. These are garbage truck. What it does is it removes the excess of cholesterol in the blood back to liver. So if you look at it, LDL and HDL both are essential for us in order to function our body properly. And LDL is called bad cholesterol for some reason. It is not really bad. It is absolutely essential for our body. But high quantity of LDL, that's when it is bad for us. And now third element, which is triglycerides. What are these? These are actually stored fat in our liver, which is stored for an emergency purpose. In today's world, emergency that never comes, almost never comes. And that is the problem. It starts accumulating. So how can you, okay, so our main motive in order to maintain a healthy lipid profile is maintain LDL at a healthier level and increase your HDL, and also regularly recycle your triglycerides. If you can ensure those three for your body can be much healthier when it comes to maintaining a healthy lipid profile. And now coming to how can you increase the lipid profile, or how can you reduce the LDL amount? This is something can be done by regular movement, by not taking ultra processed foods, by reducing junk oils, in this case seed oils. It doesn't matter whether it is cold pressed or refined oils. Should be avoiding any form of seed oils. The problem with seed oil is that it has a way higher amount of omega-6 fats, which actually neutralizes omega-3 fats. In addition, there are a lot of foods today, which are mostly packaged foods, which contains almost like 10 to 20 times the omega-6 which is required for our body. That itself again neutralizes your omega-3 fats. Even if you intake so much of omega-3 fats, that will result in increasing or continuing the inflammation which you already have. And other thing, which especially when it comes to Indian cooking, is uh, overheating the oil wherever it is not necessary. That also increases the bad fats in our body, which essentially results in eventual accumulation. Especially the tadka that we use on a daily basis, we overheat oil and convert them into bad fat, irrespective of which oil you use for your tadka. And now, coming to utilizing the triglycerides, the best way of wisely using triglycerides and ensuring having a healthy lipid profile, is by number one, giving time between meals. You can do intermittent fasting, as I mentioned before, or a day of fasting if it helps, or if you can. And in general, don't eat every 2 hours. And apart from all this, if you can maintain 7S strategy, which I mentioned in my past video, within a couple of months, your lipid profile comes to the healthier range. And this is something I've seen with many of my clients. I hope this video helped you to understand a few things about fats and some misconceptions. If you think it has helped you, please share it with someone who may need it. Also, please like, comment if you would like to see such videos, and also subscribe to my channel.